Okay, we started. So, Hare Krishna, we are so fortunate to have Her Grace Madhvi Gaurangi Mataji from Philadelphia, and Mataji will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagvatam, 7th canto, 7th chapter, and 12th verse and onwards. So, Hare Krishna Mataji, please take over the call now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak on the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam this morning. We will start with Mangalacharan, and then we will start our verse for today. And then we will go from discussion from there. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiriyet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Kaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatyate Shitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuva eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. So today, this morning, we are reading from Canto 7, and Chapter 7, and Text 12 and onwards. Okay. Tato me matram rishi samaniya nijashrame ashvasya hosyatam patse yavate bharatur agama. Synonyms. Do you do synonyms, Mataji, or just the translation? Shamarasika
You can do, yes, Mataji, you can do that.
Okay. Tataha, thereafter, me, my, matram, mother, Rishi, the great saint, Narad Rishi, Samaniya, bringing, Nija, ashrame, to his own ashrama, Asvasya, giving her adjurance, Iha, here, Usyatam, stay, Vatse, my dear child, Yavat, until, Te, your, Bhartur, of the husband, Agamaha, the coming. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prahlad Maharaj continued, the great saint Narad Muni brought my mother to his ashrama and assured her of all protection, saying, my dear child, please remain at my ashrama until the arrival of your husband. Going to read text 13 also. तथा ते अवतसिद देवसर अंतिके साकुतो भये यावद दैत्य पतिर घोरा तपसो न नया व्रतत. Translation. After accepting the instructions of Dev Rishi Narada, my mother stayed in his care without fear from any direction, as long as my father, the king of the Daityas, had not become free from his severe austerities. Text 14. Rishim paryacharat tatra bhaktya parmaya sati antabrati swarghasya shema yecha prasuttaye. Translation. My mother, being pregnant, desired the safety of her embryo and desired to give birth after her husband's arrival. Thus she stayed at Narad Muni's ashrama, where she rendered service unto Narad Muni with great devotion. Purport. It is stated in Srimad Bhagvatam 9.19.17, Matra swarsa dhuritrava navivi katstano bhavet balavan indriya gramo vidvamsam api karshati. One should not remain in a secluded place with a woman, even one's mother, sister, or daughter. Nonetheless, although one is strictly prohibited from staying with a woman in a secluded place, Narad Muni gave shelter to Prahlad Maharaj's young mother, who rendered service to him with great devotion and faith. Does this mean that Narad Muni transgressed the Vedic injunctions? Certainly he did not. Such injunctions are intended for mundane creatures, but Narad Muni is transcendental to mundane categories. Narad Muni is a great saint and is transcendently situated. Therefore, although he was a young man, he could give shelter to a young woman and accept her service. Haridas Thakur also spoke with a young woman, a prostitute, in the dead of night, but the woman could not deviate his mind. Instead, she became a Vaishnavi, a pure devotee, by the benediction of Haridas Thakur. Ordinary persons, however, should not imitate such highly elevated devotees. Ordinary persons must strictly observe the rules and regulations by staying aloof from the association of women. No one should imitate Narad Muni or Haridas Thakur. It is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vignena Bhujayaya. Even if a man is very advanced in learning, he cannot understand the behavior of a Vaishnava. Anyone can take shelter of a pure Vaishnava without fear. Therefore, in the previous verse, it has been distinctly said, Devarsher Antike Sakuto Bhaya. Kayadu, the mother of Prahlad Maharaj, stayed under the protection of Narad Muni in his transcendental position. Stayed stayed under the protection of Narad Muni without fear from any direction. Similarly, Narad Muni, in his transcendental position, stayed with the young woman without fear of deviation. Narad Muni, Haridas Thakur, and similar acharyas, especially empowered to broadcast the glories of the Lord, cannot be brought down to the material platform. Therefore, one is strictly forbidden to think that the acharya is an ordinary human being. Gurushu Nara Mati. Hare Krishna. So thanks once again for giving me this wonderful, wonderful opportunity of speaking on Srimad Bhagvatam. Srimad Bhagvatam Mahapuran, as we all know, it's the book incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna. And it also considered to be the ripened fruit of all the Vedic literatures. So basically, what we are saying that Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all what we are supposed to be known. Think about it, the person or incarnation of Lord Vyasadeva, who actually compiled Vedas, Puranas, Itihasas, he was not satisfied even after doing such a vast work for the welfare of the humankind. His guru, and basically the spiritual master of almost everybody in Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni, he suggested him that he should write a literature which exclusively talks about Krishna. So if we see Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran is something which is equivalent to Krishna and also shows us the way towards going towards Krishna. It is telling us this Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran speaks about the Lord, about the glories of the Lord, about the glories of the devotees of the Lord. Why? It also talks about the glories of the devotees of the Lord, so that we can picture, so that we can paint our life with those narrations or with the characteristics of those devotees who are there portrayed in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is a torchlight. Not only that, it is actually showing the way. It is actually paving the way for final destination of life, which is love of Godhead. Jiva Goswami says that Srimad Bhagavatam describes Sambandha Gyan, that is the relationship with Krishna, and also Srimad Bhagavatam is describing the process or abhidheya to get the what is the process to go to that level of love of Godhead. And prayojana, of course, the ultimate goal of any one's life who has acquired this human form of life, this for any living entity. Srimad Bhagavatam shows us the way. So Sambandha Gyan, Abhideya and Prayojana, everything is covered by Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran. Basically, the 10 topics which we already learned in this forum in Canto 2 makes the basis for all the rest of the cantos in Srimad Bhagavatam. So why we are gathering every morning, spending our energy, our time, which is very, very precious, especially because in Kali Yuga, the age of human being is very, very less, like 100 years or even less than that. So why we are spending our energy and time every morning to hear about Srimad Bhagavatam? Because Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran is the only literature, or is the only, we can say, is the only way, is the only bridge which is going to take us from this point to that point. We want to reach to, we want to attain love of Godhead in this very lifetime. And if this is our goal, then whatever we are doing, we know where we are investing our energy. And this energy and time really pays all of us. Because when we hear about the devotees of Lord, when we hear about the glories of Lord, and also the activities of those who loved God and who devoted their entire life for Lord, for achieving that purpose in their life, then what happened? It gives us encouragement. It gives us a push in our spiritual life. So that's what is very important. And that's what we all are doing while gathering in the assembly of the devotees in the morning. So what is the story going on? We know Sri Prahlad Maharaj. He is an epitome of devotion. So that his own spiritual master, Narad Muni, is glorifying him. What is this Canto 7 or these chapters? The discussion happening between Narad Muni and Maharaj Yudhishthir. And the questions asked by Parikshit Maharaj from Shukdev Goswami mirrors the questions which Yudhishthir Maharaj asked from Narad Muni. And Narad Muni, we know he is with us since Canto 1st, right? So Narad Muni is a very exalted Vaishnava, and we have seen the 3 births of Narad Muni in Canto 1, in first canto. And Narad Muni being a very exalted Vaishnava, he has the potency, he got the potency from the Lord to energize other living entities with the prema or with the love of Godhead. And that's what Narad Muni is doing in almost every canto. He is making appearance in every canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and making numerous devotees. We can see that he is the one who is imparting instructions. In fact, it's because of Narad Muni that the Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran, it's just started flowing to us. It was Narad Muni who instructed his disciple Vedavyas Muni about this mystery of writing or compiling Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran. So it's the mercy of Narad Muni, not only on Prahlad Maharaj or Dhruv Maharaj or Maharaj Prachina Bhari, or the sons of Dakshas. It's not only the Narad Muni is merciful on those. Narad Muni is even merciful on all of us, all the living entities who have taken birth in this age of Kali Yuga. We have read that in first chapter, first canto, that how unfortunate, lazy, and mand buddhi or the less intelligent people we are from Kali Yuga. And Narad Muni, out of his causeless mercy, he instructed or inspired Vedavyas Muni to write Srimad Bhagavatam. So the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam is immense. There is no stop on it. There is really no stop on it. We can just go on and on and on, describing the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. But for the sake of today's verse, we are going to take only chapter 7, where Prahlad Maharaj learned in the womb of his mother. That's the title, right? So we have seen that in this chapter, Prahlad Maharaj started speaking in order to dissipate the doubts of his class friends. And who are his class friends? The sons of demons, right? So not very favorable people. Reminds us of people like me. I'm not talking about anyone else, but those living entities who get the opportunity of carrying this human form of life, but not very serious for their spiritual understanding. So sons of demons means those living entities who are very less intelligent, who don't know the real purpose of their life. So Prahlad Maharaj, a great Vaishnavas, who started preaching to his classmates, and he started describing about the glories of the Lord. And now his friends, they were very surprised. They said that, since birth, since birth you are with us. I mean, practically. So, and from where have you gotten all this knowledge? Who is teaching you? We have never seen anybody coming here and teaching you separately. We are in the same school as you are. So from where you are getting this information? So in ancient days, there was students used to go to Gurukul, and there was not private tutoring, right? Like these days we have private tutoring too. So they were wondering, are you going into some kind of Kumon or Mathnesium like that? What is happening with you? Because we are not going into any Kumon, and how you are learning all these things. So then Prahlad Maharaj started explaining them about what happened, what is the history of him knowing the entire education or the entire knowledge which he is imparting to his friends. He started speaking when my father Hiranyakashipu, he left to Mandrachal mountains and for executing austerities. Then what happened? Because my father was not there, so all the demons they got scattered. And taking the advantage of this opportunity, Indra, who is, Indra and other demigods, they attacked on demons. And specifically, Indra came to the palace and he kidnapped my mother, Kayadu, who was pregnant at that time with me. And then Indra's plan was that as soon as the child will take birth, Indra is going to kill him, because it is always assumed that, the like father, like son. So that's what Indra thought. And he arrested Kayadu, and he was taking Kayadu to the heavenly planet with him. And then on the way, Narad Muni met with Indra. Now, how suddenly Narad Muni just get to know about everything? Wherever there is right time, he is always there. Because of the connection with the Lord, he get inspiration from his heart. How come Srila Prabhupada just arrived into New York? He was so motivated. He was so enthusiastic at the age of 69 or 70. How come? Because of that connection with the Supreme Lord and his spiritual master. That's why. That's how. So, Narad Muni, he is always present at the right time. So, he just met with Indra and he stopped him from taking Kayadu away. And he asked, and he said, Indra, the child in the womb is sinless. Why you are doing that? And then Narad Muni also informed Indra that in actuality, this child is a great devotee of Lord. And then Narad Muni took Kayadu to his ashrama. And now, in these verses, we have read that what is happening, that great saint Narad Muni brought his mother, Prahlad Maharaj's mother, to his ashram, and assured her of all protection, and saying, my dear child, please remain at my ashram until the arrival of your mother. And there, Kayadu, Mother Kayadu, she started staying at the hermitage of Narad Muni. And Prabhupada, in this particular verse, he's saying that Narad Muni, being a young man himself, was allowed to keep a woman who was young, but in normal circumstances, in regular circumstances, when a devotee is not that exalted, it is not recommendable of mixing of two genders, basically. Specifically, when we read in the purports, so we think that the inclination is towards women mainly, but in fact, Srila Prabhupada, in various discourses or conversation, he has mentioned that for a man, woman is the mode of enjoyment, and for women, because man is the mode of enjoyment, or man is the object of enjoyment, so man is woman for woman. That means by woman, if we take the meaning, if we understand the meaning of woman, it's the object of enjoyment. So it goes both ways, right? A woman who is practicing Krishna consciousness, she should also not be mixing with other genders, other gender, unless until that other gender belongs to that woman as husband. And similarly, the same thing goes for the men. But sometimes, we can see that in curtain of service, we say that, okay, I have to, because this Mataji is doing certain kind of service, so I have to get involved in that service. That's okay. But, the thing is, if anybody is getting involved with a single woman, then we should always, especially Prabhus, should always make sure that there is more than one woman or more than one person available in that particular scenario. Whether we are communicating with other gender in one of the rooms of temple or in home, anywhere, because these all instructions have been given to us so that our spiritual life can go smoothly. And we can see that, as Srila Prabhupada says, that we should not be imitating the great souls like Narada Muni and Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, who was a very such an exalted devotee, that a prostitute came up to him in the middle of night. But what happened? He was not, he did not criticize her. He did not criticize her. He did not try to show her that how low she is in her position. By the way, Haridas Thakur knew about the purpose of Ramachandra Khan. Ramchandra Khan was the person who, out of enviousness, wanted to show that Haridas Thakur is such a is a Vaishnava who is just a pretender, out of his own envy. So it was his plan that he sent that prostitute to Haridas Thakur. And that prostitute, she just went there and tried to seduce Haridas Thakur. And then what Haridas Thakur did, he said, I have to finish my rounds. I'm going to fulfill your desire. Just wait for me. Look at the quality of an exalted Vaishnava, pure devotee, that anybody in this situation can get deviated, not only to indulge in sense gratification, but in opposite way. We can see that maybe Haridas Thakur, if anyone else would have been there, and I'm going to give the example in very short time, uh, you know he could have easily get frustrated, or he could have easily blasphemed or criticized. Just get out from here. Why you are here? You are here to destroy my my penances or austerities or my sadhana, whatever I am doing. He could have easily done that. But Haridas Thakur was very calm, composed, and he said, just sit down, let me finish my rounds. He kept chanting and chanting and chanting. They didn't even know, she didn't even know what's going to happen. And she waited and waited and waited and waited. And there was change of heart because of the hearing of pure Hare Krishna Mahamantra from the lips of Haridas Thakur. Now, on the other hand, we can see, and this is a very well-known story of Vishwamitra. When Menka came, he indulged himself into sense gratification. And the next time when he started practicing again his austerities after realizing his mistake, again a celestial woman came. And then at that time, Vishwamitra got so angry. Why you are doing this with me? Just get out, right? So these are the things that we have to see. A Vaishnava whose goal is to achieve Krishna, whose goal is just to please Krishna. That Vaishnava, even a girl who is very young comes to him at the middle of the night, and Haridas Thakur himself was such a young man, he did not get deluded or bewildered. He was so firm in his consciousness. And if we see, so many examples have, we can quote. In Canto 3, we can see that Brahmaji, when Brahmaji, after he made his own daughter Vak. He got influenced by the feelings of sense gratification after looking at her. And after getting convinced from his other sons, he just, through his mentality, and they, in that particular chapter, it says that Brahma, he just left his body, not the body, but it says that his consciousness, his subtle consciousness of enjoying with his daughter. So that's why, how come Brahma got bewildered? And Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he's writing that exalted devotees or living entities who are exalted devotees of the Lord, they never get bewildered. But how come Brahma got bewildered? Wasn't he a very exalted devotee? Yes. Nobody has a position like Brahma in this material world. Brahma has the topmost responsibility. And why Brahma has been given topmost responsibility? Because he is very dear to Lord. For example, if we have 2, 3 kids, and one of the children, who is one of the child who is very obedient to you, and you know that this child is capable and is accepting all my instructions, so usually more responsibility a parent gives to that particular child. And same happen in any kind of organization. If a person is obedient to his boss, that's why boss entrusts him and gives more responsibility to him. So Brahmaji is the most responsible, has the most responsibility out of anybody to create this secondary, to create this material world after the primary ingredients were available from the Lord. So how come Brahma got bewildered? He is the one who is making the bodies of everybody, and he got bewildered. So Krishna, what he does, or Lord, what he does, he just take the examples or try to teach the entire world by taking the example of his own devotees, showing that even if Brahma can get bewildered, so what to talk about people who are in this Kali Yuga? Sometimes we see that it's, whenever we read these purports by Srila Prabhupada, we think in our mind, oh, I am a very good devotee. I am practicing my sadhana very nicely. Even if I am going to talk with 1 or 2 Matajis, or for Matajis with Prabhus, so I'm not going to get bewildered. I'm at a very good place in my sadhana or in my bhakti. But this is the material energy who is tricking all of us. Maya, Shakti of Lord. Maya Shakti of the Lord has the capability to trick a devotee even in his practices of executing his devotional service. And that's what is happening. There is no need to just volunteer ourselves, but we can check within ourselves. While we chant, while we chant our rounds, and if on a particular festival day or an Ekadasi, if we are trying to do more number of rounds, what happened? If somebody says, oh, because of services, I was not even able to chant my 16 rounds. What happened in my mind? Oh, really? I chanted like 32 rounds. I chanted even 40 rounds. What kind of devotee is she or is he? And then also, on Ekadasis, especially on Nirjal Ekadashi, what happened? I'm doing Nirjal fasting without water, and others are eating. And I'm thinking how fallen these people are. Not for even one day, they can fast, right? So what is happening? Do we really think that Krishna is getting pleased by these thoughts in our mind? No, because Krishna is sitting right there in our heart as Chaitya Guru, as a super soul. He knows everything what we are thinking, right? Or he knows every thought which is coming into our mind. Or in the temple, if we are, if we hear anyone else, any devotee who is singing or is giving class or is doing pujari service or anything, and if we are thinking, oh, he doesn't even know what he's talking about, or she's singing, oh, her voice is so bad, how come she get this opportunity? So all these things which is happening, this Maya Devi is also tricking us in our way of executing devotional service. And that's why what is happening, we are just circling around and around, like a bull whose nose is tied with some kind of whose nose is tied with a wooden stick in a ground, and he's that bull is just circling around it. So that's what we are doing, just circling around this material world, and that wooden stick is just our false ego, our enviousness, our anarthas, because of which we are just circling around here, right? Sometimes we go up because of our pious activities, sometimes we go down, sometimes we remain in these earthly planets, and that's what is happening. And then we say, oh, this process is just not working, just not working. I am chanting, I am reading, I am doing so many things, but there should be change of heart. There is a very good chapter, a very uh, um, very celebrated chapter in Canto 2, Change of Heart. And in that, Srila Prabhupada in our last verse, he's mentioning in the purport that even after performing your devotional service, if there is no change of heart, there is no change in consciousness, then there is no need of anything. Then nothing is changing. Externals are important too. We can see when we come into this Krishna conscious movement, what we do, we change, we start wearing devotional clothing, which is very important too. Start wearing tilak, so that world can know that I am connected to this parampara, or I am connected to Supreme Lord. That's important too. But our progress should not just stop here. It should go beyond, or the internal progress is much more important, much more important. We always in this from before the class, we say Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnanam Janashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. That means, oh my Gurudev, I am in darkness. What do you mean by what do we understand with the darkness? Is the darkness of room where we are sitting somewhere? No, it's the darkness of my consciousness. It's the darkness of all my thoughts, which are, when all these thoughts are entangling me in this material world. And because of that reason, my subtle body, mind, intelligence, and false ego, my subtle body, because there is no change in my subtle body, so this subtle body becomes the reason of changing gross bodies so many times. That's the reason why I'm changing gross bodies again and again, because the reason is my subtle body. There is no change in my subtle body. When there is a change in my subtle body, then at that time, I will be eligible to cross this material world, as given in Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 3, I guess. Yes, Canto 3. So, why? So all these instructions which we hear in Srimad Bhagavatam or in Bhagavad Gita by Lord, um, um, it's very important to imbibe in our lives. And that's what Sri Prahlad Maharaj, he is explaining that my Narad Muni, out of his great compassion, he started talking to my mother the instructions of Lord, or all these important instruction through which this living entity can get out of this material world. But what happens? Well, Narad Muni's, Prahlad Maharaj's mom, Kayadu, she forgot. But Prahlad Maharaj, who was in the womb of mother Kayadu, he heard everything and he was convinced. and he was convinced and he remembered everything. So what happened there? Here in the translation ahead, I guess, Prahlad Maharaj is mentioning that because of the duration of time, and also because being a woman, a less intelligent person, my mother just forget everything. But in fact, it's not about only women. It's the thing, who is less intelligent? The less intelligent person means who hears but take out from other ear. That's a person who is less intelligent. So that's why I always say, in between of 2 years, Krishna has made this brain. Why? Because when we hear from one ear, well, basically we should hear from both the ears, and these 2 years are even less given to us to hear Hari Katha. When we hear, it should directly go into the brain, and it should directly go into our heart, and we should imbibe those teachings into our life. So when we hear from one ear and taking it out without, understanding it through our brain, without contemplating it in our heart, and if there is no change there, then it's the process going here, getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out. And that's what is happening. And then in those cases, what happened? We forget the instructions, just like Mother Kayadu. Just forget the instructions when we come back into this material world. We hear Srimad Bhagvatam in the morning, start our life with, start our day with such a transcendental way, chanting, hearing. But when we go into the reality of our life, reality of, at least in this temporary material world, when we go to our work, or when we deal in the material world with our duties, at that time, how much we are remembering what we have learned in the morning, and how much we are applying those teachings into our life. That's a question. It's not that I am applying, I am just talking based on what I have heard and what I have read. So for all of us, it's very important to hear, understand, apply. Hear, understand, apply. These three processes are very important. The things are very important. Otherwise, Mother Kayadu also got the same guru just like Prahlad Maharaj. And there was no doubt that my Mother Kayadu, she also got liberation, right? She also got liberation because she was the one, or Krishna has used her as an instrument to instruct his dear devotee Prahlad Maharaj in her womb. But Mother Kayadu, she forgot the instructions. Mother Kayadu was at that time, she heard, she was the person, she was the main person who heard all the instructions. But Prahlad Maharaj, in the womb of his mother, heard everything and remembered. So this story also gives us one more important point. What is that important point? The important point is when the Jivatma is in the womb of the mother, and when he gets consciousness, especially he develops his consciousness in the 7th month, what happened? He can hear, a living entity can hear everything. And a living entity, whatever teachings parents want to give, that living entity starts from the womb. It's not that my son or daughter is going to grow up, become attain certain age, then I'm going to tell them suddenly about Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. And then we assume that they are going to accept it too, that whatever my parents are saying is correct. So it starts from the womb of the mother. And that's why the importance of samskaras is given to us. Importance of samskaras, importance of Garbhadan samskar specifically, because Garbhadan samskar is a process of inviting a soul who is already advanced, at least morally advanced, from his previous birth. So when a living entity takes birth, This living entity carries his personal impressions, his traits, his swabhava, his nature from the past life. And as I said, that this living entity this is a journey, right? It's a journey, and we all are in a particular journey. And what happens when we are in this journey? We are carrying our traits, our personal traits, impressions from the past life into this life because of the subtle body. Subtle body is not changing. And that's the reason our gross body is changing, right? Like we see that at the end of the life of Bharat Maharaj, he was thinking of a deer, right? He was thinking of a deer. In Canto 5th, we read that, and then he got a body of deer. And similarly, for Maharaj Puranjana, who comes in Canto 4, how when he left when he leaves his body, he gets the body of a woman, because at the time of leaving his body, he was thinking of his wife, his queen. So there are so many examples that how consciousness can give you a gross body. That is how subtle body can give you a gross body. So that's how. And Garbhadan Samskar is a process by which it's that you can make the choice, right? What kind of soul you want to invoke in your womb. So that's why Srila Prabhupada has mentioned, Srila Prabhupada mentioned so many times that Garbhadan Samskar is why these samskaras are important. So when we do these processes and when we follow these processes, then what happened? A soul who is elevated in his consciousness already comes, and then when the soul is inside the womb, we should start reading Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam to impart religious knowledge to that living entity, not to just start doing mathematics and science and social studies, chemistry, so that as soon as my baby comes out, he is a prodigy. No. As devotees of the Lord, we know that all these things, they can pick it up. And whatever is meant in the destiny of a particular living entity, he is going to get anyways. Yeah, working hard has importance in it, but working hard just like animals for the sense gratification is not recommended in the life of devotee, because devotees know the higher purpose. They know the higher purpose is to achieve love of Godhead. And that's the reason a devotee of Lord is always happy, even if he is not earning that much, and even he is just fulfilling his bare necessities of life. So there are so many things which has come up from today's verse or today's purpose. First of all, we discussed the story. We discussed the story of Narad Muni. Story of Prahlad Maharaj. How Prahlad Maharaj is explaining to his friends, and then Prahlad Maharaj uh, uh, is explaining his friends that, how I got this knowledge of transcendental science. He explained that how Hiranyakashipu, his father, was he went away for austerities. His mother got kidnapped. And then when his mother got kidnapped, Narad Muni saved him. And Narad Muni is the one who imparted him the knowledge of transcendental science, which was given to actually to his mother. But because Narad Muni was in his womb, Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of his mother, so he heard also. And the next important point we discussed, that how important it is for all of us to maintain distance from the opposite gender, because it is very important in order to smooth functioning of our spiritual life or the devotional practices. Even in case we have to we have to conduct a certain kind of meetings or anything like that, where other gender is involved, we should make sure that there are other people also there, so that it becomes, so that it becomes, it's a check on us that, any thought like that don't cross our mind. And even if certain thoughts cross our mind while while interacting with other genders, while interacting with other opposite gender, we should try to refrain from that thought, and we should try to refrain from that particular person. It's very important for our spiritual growth. And next point, we discussed about the importance of samskaras, and also how anybody in a living entity in the womb of the mother, how he hears everything. So these are basically the points, and we also discussed about the glories of Haridas Thakur, and also we discussed that how Brahmaji also got bewildered. So Vishwamitra got bewildered. So these are the things which we should take care in our mind, and don't think that because I'm chanting certain number of rounds, my consciousness can be pure. I can do whatever I want to, because these are the instruction. This is the way Srila Prabhupada is talking to all of us. This is the way Narad Muni is talking to all of us. And, in movies, or we see in movies that Narad Muni, in actuality, he comes, he said, Narayan, Narayan, and then he start imparting instructions. It's not going to happen in this age of Kali Yuga. So, but still Narad Muni is with us. Our Srila Prabhupada is with us, imparting us knowledge and instructions. And as devotees of Lord, as practicing sadhakas, we should all try to imbibe with the teachings, whatever has given to us through the narrations of these great exalted devotees. Hare Krishna, I'm going to stop here. I have limited time today. So maybe if there is one question I can take, and if not, then again, thank you so much to all the devotees who have given me this rapt attention and time to hear. Thank you so much. And if I have said anything which is not appropriate according to Shastras and according to our Acharyas, please forgive me for that, and please bless me that I may continue with my Krishna consciousness throughout my life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for this nectarian class. I don't have any question, but I will request devotees, if you have any question, please go ahead and ask.
Okay, if we don't have any questions, then we can.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji, I think nobody has any
Thank
question.
you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. It was very wonderful and nectarian to hear this nice class, Mataji, and enlightening with multiple examples. It gave some more light. Thank you for the class, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna Mataji, thank you very much for this beautiful class. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam, August Prabhupada. It's such a wonderful class.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Exposition of philosophy along with the do's and the don'ts. Very important for the sadhakas, because sometimes in the flow of life, all the times the do's and the don'ts we forget to implement them, and so reminding is very important.
Yes.
And also the philosophical basis should be nice, so nicely hammered. That's very important. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. It's a
Yes, give us-
reminder for all of us, for me also, for everybody. Hare Krishna.
Please give us your purifying aspiration. More and more. Hare
Hare Krishna. Mhm.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So let's pay obeisances to Mataji and all the Vaishnavas.
Yeah.
Vanchakalpatarvyasya कृपा सिन्धुएव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नमस्कार
जय।
ठाकुर की जय।
जय
पाठ की जय। ग्रंथ राशि भागवतम की जय। हर
जय।
ग्रेस माधवी गौरंगी माता जी की जय।
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय।
थैंक यू सो मच
प्रभुपाद
माता जी।
की
हरे कृष्णा।
जय।
धन्यवाद प्रणाम।